Hi guys, it's Mr. Fraser. Today is Friday, April 24th. Some people may have done story 3 already, but if you haven't, I'm gonna assign it for you to do next week. So I'll put it up this weekend, but you don't have to start working on it until Monday. And so you'll have Monday through Thursday, and then we'll go over it Friday. So it's the next story in the packet. It's about a girl named Donna and her younger brother named Nicky. They go on a bit of an adventure. It's a little bit longer reading. It's 4 pages, I think, or 3.5 or so. And you'll see on page 18 starts the comprehension questions. Most of them, we're going to go back into the story and you're going to underline where you found the answer to show me, exactly where you got the answer. So if I circled it on here, that means we have to go back in the story to show me where you found the answer. It's most of them. It's numbers 2 through 9 can be found in the story. Number 1 talks about the main idea, so that you sort of come up with just by, the overall message of the story. So that's not something you can underline. And the last one is sort of something that isn't directly stated, but you'll know it after reading the story. So make sure you go back and underline those. The next activity is activity B. It's just vocabulary. This one's a little bit different than the other stories because they use the vocabulary word in a sentence, they underline it, and then you have to use the word box to find 2 words that mean the same as the underlying word. So let's look at this one together. It says, Dad would not allow the children to speak to strangers. So the underlined word is allow. We're looking for 2 words that mean the same, so they're synonyms. One way to go about doing it is you could just plug the words in to replace the underlined word. So if we looked at the first one's lately, Dad would not lately the children to speak to strangers. Doesn't sound right. Another way you could do it is just go through, read all the words, and one of them might pop out to you that, yeah, that one's going to fit. Like I went through them lately, questioned, expensive, filthy, concealed, happened, burglars, let. I was like, oh yeah, let. Dad would not let the children go. So I know that's one of them. I'll put a check next to it showing I used it. Asked, Dad would not asked. No. Occurred, permit. So you might have to go through the whole list. Maybe that doesn't sound right to you. I know this one. So if you went through the whole list and none of them made sense, you could go back and maybe just lightly circle the ones you're not sure. Like if this one we're not sure, we're going to come back to, and I'm going to try it. Dad would not permit the children to speak to strangers. Yeah. So I know permit means the same as to let something, to allow something. So a couple different ways to do it. If you're uncertain, if you get to a word like concealed and you're not sure what that is, you can, if you have a dictionary at home, you could look it up in the dictionary. You could look it up in Google, just punch in the word, type in the word concealed and write define concealed, and it'll tell you the definition, and you can see if that works, whichever one. So a couple different ways. Let me know if you have trouble with that. And then for this one, it only goes up to C. So the last activity is activity C, and it's really a map reading skill. And it goes on saying being able to read maps is an important skill. So when I was younger, when your parents were younger, reading maps was a really important skill because GPS not everybody had GPS. It wasn't around much. So if you were going to a different state and you were driving there, you had to know how to read a map. And you had to have a book of maps in your car in case you got lost. Today, it still comes up. If you're in a park or something and there's trails, usually that's not on Google Maps, so you'll need to learn to read a map of trails. We do this a lot in social studies. Next year in social studies, you learn all about ancient civilizations, and so you have to be able to read world maps to see, where they are in relation to the United States. So really for this one, it's just a very simple map of the neighborhood that's in the story. So it's also related to the story, and you have to use the key. And I think we know that the key just tells us what the symbols or the pictures, they're really called symbols on a map, what these symbols indicate. So you probably know that a slide, you might not know. So if you go to the key, you say, oh, a slide means that's a playground. So I see, now I know there's a playground on the west part of town, and it's on Grant Street, right? So lots of times in social studies, we have a compass rose that shows us the directions. And this will be on the side because sometimes it's sideways and it shows you, where the cardinal directions are. On this map, they've just listed them on the side, so it's really the same: north, south, west, and east. So use the map, use the key to answer these questions, and then you're all set. So I will post this on Google Classroom. And if you have any problems, send me a message there or message me on Class Dojo. All right, guys. See you soon.